It was definitely expected that the Boston Celtics were going to enter the brand new season with a lot of continuity coming fresh off last summer's NBA Finals appearance, but I'm quite sure that not a lot of people anticipated this team to have the best offensive rating in the NBA after their first 15 games of the season. But what's even more impressive is that in a year wherein transition play is on the rise and wherein the NBA's current league average half-court offensive rating is the lowest in 3 years, the Celtics are actually averaging 107.1 points per 100 possessions in the half-court, which isn't only the best in the NBA, but is also the highest half-court offensive rating ever recorded in league history ever since half-court scoring stats were tracked starting in 2003. And for context, the gap between the Celtics and the second-place Dallas Mavericks is actually equal to the gap between the Mavs and the Chicago Bulls, who are actually at number 14. This is how dominant the Celtics half-court scoring has been to start the year. The team is shredding opponents every single night, despite their top-ranked defense from last season being down to number 21 this year. Well, the thing is, it's not like the team completely overhauled their roster last summer. Sure, Malcolm Brogdon and Sam Hauser were both key off-season additions, but with the exception of the Time Lord, the core of Boston's rotation is pretty much the same from last year. While looking at it, after 15 games, the team is handing out 275.5 passes per game, which only ranks 22nd in the NBA. Plus, the 2.4 dribbles per touch they're averaging as a team only ranks number 10 in the entire league, so it's not like they're constantly letting the ball fly around the court as well. But instead, watching them play, you can see that the Celtics are emphasizing playing inside out, wherein they're purposely moving the ball based on their driving ability and the complementary floor spacing that comes with it, and they're actually doing it in a lot of different ways. So what's good everyone, it's Real Balls here, and today we'll look into how the Celtics are actually consistently torching NBA defenses this season. But one sec, if you guys happen to enjoy this video, you can show your support for the channel by hitting that like button. It only takes a second of your time, but it will be much appreciated. So let's get to it. The Boston Celtics' offensive success obviously starts with Jayson Tatum. Tatum is in the middle of his most efficient scoring season ever, as he's averaging nearly 32 points per game while also shooting a highly efficient 36.8% from deep on a high volume of almost 10 attempts per game as well. Plus, he's also putting up those numbers all while averaging a career-low 8.6 turnover percentage at the same time. But I think Tatum's most eye-popping stat so far is his ridiculous 79% finishing rate at the rim. Well, most of his buckets around the basket are still self-created, but the difference is Tatum has taken yet another leap as a much more decisive driver while adding some hints of a floater game. However, it's when looking at his assisted field goals around the basket when you'd notice a huge development, as Tatum is currently making a career-high 86.2% of his shot attempts within 10 feet of the rim when he has held the ball for less than 2 seconds in a possession. While obviously, it's easier to accelerate to the basket when you're moving without the ball, and in the half-court, the Celtics have capitalized on that idea by setting up off-ball screens for Tatum or by just letting him find open cutting lanes in order to let him gain momentum and to let him catch defenses off guard even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. Basically, the Celtics are doing this to either create a driving lane for Tatum or to force weaker matchups to get switched onto him as he attacks the basket. Here, with Marcus Smart directing traffic, you could see Brown and Williams setting up the double side screen for Tatum on the weak side, and as Tatum gets away from his man, he's now switched to the smaller Jaden Ivey, so he just goes for the one dribble spin for the easy finish at the rim. Again, here in the half court against Memphis, you see Marcus Smart sealing his position in the post, then as he faces up, watch Tatum cut right into the zone as he gets the bounce pass from Smart, which leads to the easy basket. Also, in those clips, you can see how Marcus Smart has actually been involved in the offense with his brilliant playmaking that's been on full display this season. The thing is, he's quietly becoming an effective operator for Boston out of the post, which is where he's either scoring or dishing out dimes. Smart is currently posting up 1.6 times per game so far, and while that might not seem to be much, that actually ranks as the third highest post-up rate by any guard this season, only behind Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But most importantly, Smart is currently shooting 70% on those post-up possessions, and his 19% assist rate out of the post is also the third best among all guards who have posted up at least 10 times this season. Here, watch how Smart operates against Ja Morant. He starts posting up Morant and you can see him just constantly using his strength to get into the paint, but as the help comes, watch him find Jaylen Brown with the nice overhead pass in the interior. Then here, watch Marcus Smart set a quick screen for Tatum. He quickly slips, but as Dort catches up, Smart starts to back him down in the post before elevating for the tough 12-foot turnaround jumper. Whether as a passer or a scorer, Marcus Smart has been making a really huge impact in the Celtics offense, which of course is exactly what you would expect from a team veteran like him. But also, another veteran who's been continuously showing consistency for the team is Al Horford. So far, Horford's three-point shooting has really contributed a lot to Boston's floor spacing, as he's taking more than half of his shot attempts from behind the arc, while also converting those at a highly efficient 45.1% rate. But I think what's really interesting is, after corner shots only made up a very small 5.6% of his total three-point attempts over the past 4 seasons, Horford's corner three-point attempt rate is up to 27% so far, and is also draining 45.5% of his corner threes. The thing is, so far, Boston leads the entire NBA with 13.5 three-point assists per game, and with their 5-out offensive sets utilizing the driving and playmaking ability of guys like Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Malcolm Brogdon, Al Horford has been a frequent target of a lot of corner kick-out passes. Here, the offense starts with Marcus Smart, but on the weak side, you can see Tatum using a series of off-ball screens to get free, and as Smart finds him under the rim, watch the quick touch pass to Al Horford on the corners for the wide-open three. Then here you see Marcus Smart setting up a screen for Tatum, and as he gets the pass and collapses the defense on the short roll, watch him quickly find Horford for another wide open corner shot. Overall, as you can see, Al Horford's hot shooting is not only a testament of his improved consistency from deep, but also of Boston's ability to create open looks for him. And I think one guy who has made scoring chances in general much easier to generate for the team is new addition Malcolm Brogdon. Well, right after being acquired from Indiana, everyone pretty much expected that Brogdon would bring his unstoppable driving prowess with him to Boston, and so far, that part of his game has blended really well into the Celtics half-court game. Brogdon leads the team with 11.7 drives per game, and he's actually shooting a strong 53.8% on driving shot attempts. Plus, his 14% assist rate out of drives also ranks as the 8th best among all 64 high-volume drivers in the entire NBA. Right here, you see Brogdon using the Grant Williams screen to accelerate towards the paint. He runs through a wall, but his driving gravity attracts so much help that he just finds a wide open Jayson Tatum for the easy three-pointer. Then here, Boston sets up Brogdon with a double screen play. He's actually forced to a mismatch against Vucevic, but watch the patience around the paint as he recognizes the cutting Jaylen Brown, who finishes the play with a poster dunk. But what's for sure is, Brogdon and the rest of Boston's attacking players constantly need to be surrounded by perimeter threats to make the team's drive and swing offense work. While at this point, Grant Williams is a proven sharpshooter, and this season, he's leading the team in three-point percentage with a ridiculous 48.8% mark on 3 attempts per game. Then Horford, Tatum, and Derrick White have all been off to strong outside shooting starts as well. But I think one notable weakness that Boston had in last season's playoffs was that defense is rarely focused on the role players from behind the arc, as aside from Grant Williams, no one really threatened to pull attention away from Brown and Tatum when they attacked the paint. But I think moving forward, second-year player Sam Hauser could be worthy of all that defensive attention. So far, Hauser is the team's second-best three-point shooter at 45.2% on a reasonable volume of 4.4 attempts per game. He's also averaging 1.54 points per possession on catch-and-shoot plays, which is actually the 7th best mark in the entire NBA. But aside from the brilliant percentages, you could just see that the way he relocates without the ball and the way he puts himself in position to be able to launch outside shots really makes him a viable long-term complementary piece for the Celtics team. In this half-court set, on the weak side, notice how Hauser uses the off-ball screen and the gravity of Jaylen Brown's presence to free himself up. Smart finds him open and he easily drains the spot-up three. Overall, it's just fascinating that despite Boston having a first-year head coach, the team already has so many critical offensive developments compounding on top of each other all at the same time. It's still early in the season, so one way or another, I think you can expect opposing teams to develop counters to their different scoring ways in the half-court, but if the Celtics are able to adapt while also getting their defense back to the elite level where it was last season, I think a championship could realistically be attainable for the team this time around. So, do you guys see the Boston Celtics getting back to the NBA Finals this season? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.